Hey there, welcome back to visit us again at And They Ate, where we talk about food from Genesis all the way to Revelation. And They Ate is a place where we're going to go to, and we're going to go from cover to cover to see what is it that God's Word says around food. In the past, we talked about seed, right? In the Garden of Eden, Eve ate the seed of a fruit that would reproduce sin in this world. The next thing we talked about was a theophany, Abraham having 3 visitors who came and visited with him. And so in this time of visiting, he prepared a meal. They ate. Today we're going to talk about a humble little meal, something that most people don't take into consideration. It's a meal that my husband actually does not care for. Not a lot of people have a flavor for it, but nonetheless, I'm going to prepare it. And so we're going to go to none other than Jacob and Esau. Some of you are going, lentils. That's right. We're going to prepare lentils today. And we're going to look at lentils from a different perspective because we're going to see what happened around this bowl and this dish of lentils. And so we're going to start Genesis chapter 25 in verse 27, okay? Jacob and Esau were fraternal twins. So Esau was named because he had red hair, and Jacob was named obviously because he didn't have red hair. But what his name means, we're going to touch on, but I want you to go into your own Bible, to go into your time of study with the Lord and ask him, what is it about Jacob and Esau? And so when we meet up with these boys, in verse 27, we find that they're young little men. Esau, who's kind of a rough, gruff guy, he's the kind of guy who likes to be out there. And you got Jacob, who's more of the inside guy, hanging out with mom, learning how to do things like mom. Yet the parents had favorites. So Rebecca favored Jacob, and Isaac favored Esau. In verse 27, when the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a peaceful man, living in tents. Now Isaac loved Esau because he had a taste for game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. When Jacob had cooked stew, Esau came in from the field, and he was famished. In the Hebrew culture, the firstborn is given birthrights. Esau would be inheriting all the firsts of the family. He would inherit the sheep, everything that was property and any kind of money or whatever would be given to Esau. Jacob, on the other hand, would kind of get the leftovers, okay? So this is important because Esau is the firstborn. And so when you find out what he's doing, you're kind of like, wait, what? Jacob had cooked stew. Esau came in from the field and he was famished. And Esau said to Jacob, please let me have a swallow of that red stuff, for I am famished. Therefore, his name was called Edom. Edom means red. But Jacob said, first, sell me your birthright. This is sibling stuff, right? So Jacob says, first, sell me your birthright. And Esau said, behold, I'm about to die. So of what use then is the birthright to me? And Jacob said, well, first, swear to me. Esau swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentils, and he ate and drank and rose and went on his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. That Esau despised it. He didn't see the importance or the value of it. He really didn't think it serious enough. And because he didn't think it serious enough, all he wanted was his belly full. And he didn't care. He didn't care what that all meant. And that is why when we read sometimes in scripture, we read things like, God loved Jacob, but Esau he hated, because Esau hated the thing that God had put on his family and on him, and all he wanted was beans. Why was he preparing that? Somebody had died, and in Israel, or in Hebrew culture, when you eat lentils, it's a mourning dish. I didn't know that until I started doing the research, but what I found was that lentils is a mourning dish. And so I love lentils because it's a number one bean. It's a number one bean. Number one bean. By the way, lentils are the number one bean that we should all be eating. And lentils are loaded with proteins. It's loaded with anti-inflammatory properties. So if you have aches and pains, loaded in zinc. So if you have COVID, if you have a cold, you quit eating all your bread, you quit eating all of your inflammatory foods, and grab a spot of lentils. And so I want to share that with you so that you can be aware that God provides us with these foods that are beneficial for us. And lentils, that's one of the top ones. So let's get to cooking so that we can see how Esau gave up something precious and valuable over a spot of bean. Hey there, so we've got our lentils. We've got some green ones instead of red ones. And then we've got some sweet potato. We have some carrots. We also have a protein, which is a meat, optional. You don't have to put that in there. Some ginger, red onions, garlic, and red bell pepper. And then we're going to do a chimichurri, which is an Argentinian dish that goes with meat, but we're going to use it for our lentils. And that's going to be some cilantro, some basil, and some flat leaf parsley. We're going to get this all prepared, and let's get to cooking it, okay? So first we're going to take our ginger, we're going to slice it on the long, and then we're going to turn it around and slice it on the short. We're going to do some dices of ginger. We want everything as uniform as we can. Use the back of your knife, and then you're going to put those in bowls. You're going to put your garlic, smash them, also dice them and chop them, and also put those also in the back, using the back of your knife. You're going to put that also in a bowl. And then we're going to take our onion, again, long dices, and then you're going to take and chop them nice and tiny so that you can also use them for the saute, okay? Store them up in a little bowl. So we're coming back to those later. Again, do the same with your bell pepper. Chop everything into small dices, okay? Carrot, you want to do this on the long. Careful, please. While it's flat, do some dicing or long cutting, and then you can gather them all up together, as I'll show you in a second, and then you'll cut them up. Again, dicing them, okay? Next, we're going to do the same. Clean up your sweet potato. Peel it. You have an option to peel it. I peeled it. You don't have to. Then you're going to take and slice on the long. Again, flat sides, please. And then you're going to take and also do the long cut and then dice them as well. Okay? Alright, now we've got our chicken. Chicken is an option. This is a sausage style. I put some salt and pepper. I'm putting some ginger. And then we're going to put this all together so that it can kind of marinate in it. But mix all that up, put it aside, and save it for when you're ready to cook. You're going to put it all on a medium heat. Put your olive oil, your garlic, your onion, and then some bell pepper. This is what we call in Puerto Rico our sofrito. So you're just going to put a little bit of your stuff in there, and then you're going to start adding your ginger, all of these yummy flavors, and you're going to give it a nice good saute because you're going to add your chicken or your protein at this point, okay? Get your protein nice and brown. If you're choosing to use chicken or whatever, get some cilantro and just chop it up a little. Get it ready because we're going to put that in all of this. Lentils in Jewish tradition is a mourner's meal, kind of like a comfort food. It is believed that Jacob was preparing this lentil stew for his dad Isaac because his grandfather Abraham had died. And so they were making this dish as a means of mourning the death of Abraham. And in comes Esau asking for the end of his birthright. All right, now that your meat is browned, now you're going to put your onions, your ginger, your garlic. We're going to put the hard vegetables, carrots, sweet potato, and the rest of your bell pepper. You'll put that in there. Give it a little stir just to get it all incorporated. And then you'll put your lentils in there as well. Give it also another little stir once it's all out. Then you're going to grab your vegetable broth. You'll put 1 can of that, low sodium, or 1 box of that. And then you're going to put half of that in water. So you'll take a bowl, do a little bit less than what you put in, and put your water in there. Give it a stir, cover it up. Put your cilantro. Then you're going to cover it up and let it simmer. So while your lentils are cooking, we're going to make chimichurri. So we'll take our flat leaf parsley and we'll get that all chopped up, but we're going to put it into a blender, or if you've got a Ninja or a food processor, whichever one, then you're going to pluck the leaves of the basil and you're going to put all of that in there. You're also going to take cilantro, take just the leaves. It's okay if you take the stems, but you're going to put that, stuff it in there really well. We're going to take lots and lots of garlic in a minute, and we're going to put all that garlic in there as well, with also a little bit of a red onion. And then you're going to take the juice of 1 lemon, squeeze it over that, and make sure you get it all nice and incorporated, because we're going to take and make this, we're going to do a loose chop in the Ninja and or food processor, whichever one you have. Lots and lots of oil. Olive oil is what you're going to use. And so you're going to keep chopping, gently chop, pulse it, and then you're going to push whatever leaves get caught up in there, pulse it some more, and put that into a potential container for whatever use you have now or whatever use you have later. But put your salt and pepper in there. Again, more olive oil, and make sure that you incorporate it in everything that you do, because that is good with everything. And there you have it, some lentils with chimichurri. Chicken is an option, but I'm going to leave you with some pictures that I took in March when we went to the Jordan. We walked in Edom, the Red Rock and all of that, and we also got to see Petra. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being a part of this. God bless you, and thanks for joining me in And They Ate. God bless. Bye-bye.